Hi guys, welcome to the pre-Vlogmas vlog, I guess. This is kind of like Vlogmas prep and this will probably go up on the first day of Vlogmas, so I'm going to try and film a day ahead, as it were. So or maybe I'll put this up on Thursday, the day before Vlogmas starts. We'll see how things go. I have a few plans for Vlogmas this year. We have a few things coming up, a few activities, a few things we're doing, all sorts of fun stuff. We have a trip, we have a concert in London that Perry and I are going to, we have Christmas fairs, we have all sorts of things happening, which should be lots and lots of fun. But yeah, I kind of wanted to do a prep video because I need to get advent calendars sorted out for the girls. I've stockings are all ready. I decided last minute to do myself a yarny advent calendar, and I'll explain more about that as well. But today's actually the 28th of November. Normally we would have decorated the house this weekend just gone, but which I guess for you guys in the US would have been Thanksgiving weekend. But we were at a wedding this weekend, hence why my hair is straight. And we just got back from the wedding yesterday, and yeah, so we weren't here this weekend to decorate the house, and yeah, and obviously I don't want to do it without the girls, so I think we're going to try and do it Friday evening. Not entirely sure where we're going to put the tree yet. I think the plan was to put it in the conservatory, but I might think if there's a way that we can put it in the living room just to make it feel more Christmassy, because otherwise it's going to feel very bland in here. We still haven't gotten any pictures up on the walls, which is a job for next year at this point, and I'm not going to have time to do that now. But we've not put any nails or anything in the walls since we've finished decorating earlier this year, and so we didn't really want to start doing that now, not knowing where we were going to hang pictures and stuff later, so we didn't want to like mess up our nice new walls. And if you haven't seen, I did post a finished, like a start to finish renovation vlog. Would have been sometime over the summer. You won't have to scroll that far back on my channel to find it, or if I remember I will link it below. But we redid our kitchen, our living room, and our downstairs shower room, bathroom situation, and yeah, that was all finished by the end of May, and just in time for Nova's birthday in June. So that, it's been great, loved it. It's been working out really well for us, and yeah, just really enjoying the new setup, as it were. And really can't remember how we lived with our kitchen the way it was before. It's just so much more functional now. Anyway, this is not a video about our kitchen. Like I said, if you want to see that video, you can go ahead and watch that. I have decided, because we're not hanging stuff up this year, I mean, I'm not wanting to nail stuff into the walls and stuff. I don't know how I couldn't figure out how I was gonna hang up the girls' advent calendars. I have the little sock advent calendars with their baby socks. So I didn't know what I was gonna do. There's like nowhere to really hang it up. Before, we had some like leftover nails in the walls that I would use. And I also don't want to put it too low down that Nova can get hold of it. We have a corkboard in the conservatory which I could have hung it up on, but it's right above the radiator, so I didn't want the chocolates to melt when the heating comes on. So it's just all these different things to consider. In the end, I got a couple of boxes, which I'll show you in a bit. I got a couple of boxes. I'm still going to put their advents in their socks, and I'm just going to like arrange them in this box so they can just go through, pick out their sock, get their chocolate, etc. And then I could also put the boxes away so that on the days that Nova is home, she can't just go ahead and mess everything up, as it were, because let's face it, she is a little mischievous little one, shall we say. She's definitely got a bit of that mischievous streak running through her, which is adorable but also tiring and exhausting to keep up with. Anyway, I still have bags of knitwear that I need to steam after the whole flea fiasco, which again, if you are not aware, we had a flea infestation at the end of summer, so that was so much fun. I'm not going to go into it now, but if you want to know more details about that, I did talk about it in my last podcast, which should be the last video on this channel before this one. And yeah, so Nova's socks for her advent calendar are still in the bags of knitwear to be steamed, so I'm going to steam those and then get ready to sort out their advents. So that's kind of the plan for today, is to sort out advents, Nova's, Layla's, and my own. And yeah, I thought I'd take you along for the ride, and this would be a nice little warm up for Vlogmas. So yeah, in terms of plans, like I said, Friday's the 1st of December. We're going to hopefully decorate the tree and get decorations up. Then Saturday we've got Layla's school Christmas fair, which should be lots of fun. Sunday we're going to go around and see Perry's family. So it's a nice sort of busy weekend coming up. Then next weekend, yeah, I think it's the following weekend, the 9th and 10th, we're up to London. My brother and his fiance are going to babysit the girls for the night, whilst Perry and I go to a concert, which will be really fun. We're going to go see The Darkness, which is I'm really looking forward to that. And then yeah, Sunday I'm not sure what we're going to do, probably just hang out with my family or something. And then the following weekend from that, we're off to Center Parcs for a long weekend. And I've never been to Center Parcs around Christmas time, so this should be really fun. And we're going to go visit Santa and do lots of fun Christmassy things and just enjoy Center Parcs in general, because Center Parcs is great any time of year. And then yeah, when we get back the weekend after, it's going to be Christmas, so lots of fun things planned. And in that week between Center Parcs and Christmas weekend, I think either Layla's off from school that week, so I've got a few other fun things planned to do with her. And Nova for the days that she's not in nursery, because Nova still goes to nursery. She's loving nursery, which is amazing. I'm so happy that she's enjoying it so much. The other day I dropped her off and I sort of just put her down at the front door because she's walking now. I put her down at the front door as I was getting in. I put her down so I could hang up her bag and her coat and stuff. And she just started walking off to the room that she was supposed to go to, and I like called her name to say bye. She barely turned around to look at me. She just sort of turned around, was like, and then walked off, like barely acknowledged me. So she has a great time there, which is good. It makes me feel really good about her being there. They're happy to see her, she's happy to see them. It all goes well. And yeah, so that's that. I'm just gonna go make myself another coffee and then we'll get to sorting out advents. Okay, so also wearing festive pajamas in keeping with the mood. I also forgot to say that annoyingly I'm not wearing my knit socks as much as I would like these days. And I noticed this last winter that because we have wooden stairs and our stairs are actually quite narrow, like the width of the tread of the stairs is quite narrow, so it's a bit of a slip hazard for me at the moment in the house. I need to get into the habit of wearing slippers around the house so I can wear my knit socks. And this all came to a head again on Friday before we were getting ready to leave for the wedding. And I went crashing down the stairs because I was wearing knit socks and I slipped. And I was going from the ground floor down to the kitchen and I slipped down 3 or 4 steps right by Perry's office, and all I heard, he was on a video call with someone at work, and all I heard, well basically I was crying because it was so painful, and all I heard him was like say on the video call was like, I think my wife just fell down the stairs, and he hung up the call and came out to help me, which I appreciated, but it was just kind of funny. I don't know what the person on the other end of that call was thinking, but yes, I now have a giant dark purple bruise on my arse and it's so painful. Yeah, so literally went crashing down the stairs into the radiator on the landing and it hurt a lot. Anyway, so annoyingly, like I said, I need to get into the habit of wearing slippers around the house so I can wear my knit socks, but otherwise it's just way too dangerous for me. I'm far too clumsy. All right, let's get on to steaming. So Nova's advent socks are all dry now, so I'm going to sit down and finally do everything. I wanted to show you, first of all, obviously you've seen this before, this is Layla's Christmas stocking that I knit her. It's actually one of my knitting patterns, so if I remember I will link it below, otherwise you can find it on my Ravelry and Payhip shops. And of course it was about time Nova had her own, and here's her one. So hers has this sort of slightly darker, more bluish green background colour, and the contrast colour is actually some of my hand spun, so I thought that was a really good use for some fun hand spun, colourful hand spun that's a bit too, is very coarse hand spun. It's not something that I would be able to use for something next to skin because it's far too rough, and it's not strong enough or the right ply structure for socks either, so so this is actually really good use for it because you get to like see all the fun little speckles and the little different bits of fibers in there. Sorry if you can hear the background noise, there's the dishwasher's running. And yeah, it's just really fun sort of colourful bits in there, but no one has to wear it next to their skin, which is great. So they have their matching stockings. I want to do matching like 2 more for me and Perry, but to get Perry to give up on his traditional Christmas stocking is going to be really difficult. He has his one from childhood. I might just do ones for me and him and like keep the lot as like a decorative set. I was going to do Nova's one in red, but I knew if I did Layla would want to swap with her, but I might do the other 2 in like 2 different shades of red. So these are 2 different shades of green, 2 different shades of red, and then if the girls want to swap later when they're older, that's absolutely fine. I am not particularly precious of like this one has to be Layla's for the rest of her life kind of thing. As much as that would be nice, it's not the end of the world if they want to swap and like have different colors, etc. So those are the stockings. I remembered I forgot to show this one when I did my last podcast. It was finished, I just forgot to share it, so I wanted to share that now really quickly. Right, and so the boxes I got for the girls for their adverts, and I'm hoping they're going to be big enough, are these 2. I'll let you hazard a guess as to which one Layla wants as her box. Yeah, and I told her again she can have this one this year, Nova will have this one, and next year they can always swap if they want to. But yeah, I just thought they were a nice size. Like I said, hopefully the socks will fit once they've all been stuffed with chocolates, and I have a variety of chocolate options already in there. So yeah, I bought another set of the numbered pegs, like the advent pegs that Layla has on her socks from Flying Tiger. That's actually where I got them for hers as well, so I got another set for Nova's advent as well, and I believe her advent is in here, yes, along with some other bits and pieces. So let's get into it. So the kids' advents are all done. We got They look really cute. I wasn't sure how they were gonna fit, but they do just about fit into the box. Nova's one for some reason has gone in a lot neater than Layla's, probably because these socks haven't really been used, so they're not like stretched a lot, whereas these have been used for a few years now, so they're a bit more stretched out. Also, I didn't realize, but the writing on Layla's little heart peg things are in black and Nova's ones are in white, so that'll be easy to tell them apart as well later, in case like the pegs get mixed up. But yeah, and there was just one little chocolate left, so I'm gonna have that with my tea. I'm gonna take a little break, have my tea, and then I'm gonna get to doing my advent calendar, my yarny one, and I'll explain what I'm doing with that as well when I get to it. Okay, now the dishwasher has stopped running, essentially it's finished. Why is this wonky? There we go. I'm gonna get set up to do my my yarny advent calendar. So I decided last minute, as in this morning, that I was going to make myself a yarny advent calendar. I didn't buy one this year. I just kind of didn't get around to it, and yeah, I just sort of figured I wouldn't have time. It's okay, doesn't matter. And I've done like scrappy ones in the past for myself, or I've done them with friends, and I just never got around to organising one this year, either to swap with a friend or anything else. So I decided, I'm just going to make my own. Let me just move this a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. You can see me too, kind of. So I have this box which says, I've kind of used this as a Christmas Eve box for Layla in the past. I've put like some pajamas and a couple of bits in there, or sometimes even just as a Christmas day to put like one of her presents in or something. I'm pretty sure I used this box to put stuff in to tell Layla that we were pregnant with Nova. I've got some extra gift bags from last year's Christmas. But I also have this advent calendar that Perry's mum had made for Layla. I think it was like her first or her second Christmas. And we've like intermittently used this for different things. I think last year I used it to make Perry an advent calendar. I don't think it's going to be big enough to put balls of yarn in. It would be very tight, and I don't want to rip the stitching any more than it already is. A few of the pockets have ripped stitching, but we'll save this. We'll probably use this again next year for something. We use it some years we don't need it, so I think this year's one of those years where we're not going to necessarily need it. I also have a book advent for the girls that I purchased in the sales last year after Christmas, so we've got that as well as the chocolate calendars. And then I've got my chocolate calendar, which is just a shop bought one, and my last minute I decided to make this yarny advent calendar. So I have my box, and then what I'll do is I'll just get the girls to take turns to like pull one out. I'm not going to number them, they're just going to be random. I have tape, I have scissors, I have my scrap yarn. So what I'm planning on doing with my scrappy yarn advent calendar is, if you've been following for a while, you know that for Layla's 5th birthday, I finished her pinwheel scrap blanket that I made for her. And I've started a new one. I'm only 3 squares in, that this one's going to be for Nova. So I've done 3 of these. This is one of my designs again. I'll try and remember to have it linked below. It's a great little scrappy project. I'm doing this one again in DK weight, or roughly DK / worsted weight. I'm holding fingering weight yarn double, or using just DK or worsted weight held single, on 4mm needles. So if you have the pattern's written initially for 30 stitches with fingering weight yarn. Because I'm doing DK / worsted weight, I'm only doing 20 stitches, and each little triangle only takes approximately 3 grams of yarn, so you really don't need much scrap yarn to do this. And the best thing is, because there are 24 days in an advent and there are 8 triangles per square, that would mean I should have 3 completed triangles by the end of advent. And like I said, I'm not in a massive rush to get this blanket finished, but if I was going to do a scrappy advent, I wanted it to have a purpose, and my purpose is going to be knitting more of these squares for Nova's blanket, or to go towards Nova's blanket. So I have these squares in here, and I initially started these earlier this year, back in February, when I was going to New York to teach at Vogue Knitting Live. One of my classes is my pinwheel scrap blanket class, and I didn't have any samples because I was using all the squares from the blanket I was knitting for Layla as my class samples, but then I finished her blanket and no longer I couldn't take the whole blanket with me to New York because it's big and it's heavy. It's about the size of a single bed, or like a twin bed, I guess, in the US. It's pretty big, pretty heavy. Was not going to fit in a suitcase. So, or I mean, it would, but I wouldn't be able to fit any clothes, and that's kind of important. So I quickly whipped up a couple of these squares to take as samples. Well, I'm sorry, I thought the dishwasher was done, but apparently it's still going. It just taken a pause for some reason. Anyway, I'll finish this up quickly and then we'll switch to time lapse. So like I said, I've got paper, I've got scissors, I've got tape, and I have a bunch of toilet paper wrappers. So we buy our toilet paper from Who Gives a Crap is the name of the company, and I actually got their Christmas box this year, which is sat in my shed. I need to go bring that in. That'll be really fun. Nova likes like stacking them and playing with them and stuff. So I just pilfered a few of the sheets from some toilet paper. I'm going to cut them in half and just wrap up the minis in this. Nice and colourful, and like I said, the girls can just randomly pick from the box and help me with my advent that way as well. So I'm just going to get to winding off some yarn. I like getting it pre-wound for my advents. Just makes it easier to just open and knit and not have to then sit there and like wind up a mini skein every day. I don't know, I find that a bit tedious personally, so I much prefer having my yarn ready to go, especially if I'm working from a scrappy homemade advent calendar. I don't need to go through the hassle of winding stuff up into a mini skein and then unwinding it and balling it up every day. So we're gonna make it simple. All right, I'm gonna set the rest of this to time lapse and I'll catch up with you guys at the end. Right guys, so advent calendars are all sorted and ready for Friday, and yeah, I don't actually have a whole lot of time left before I have to leave to go pick up Layla from school, but yeah, I just have a bunch of stuff to take upstairs to sort out. I've got a big old pile of laundry to fold, which I'm going to do now before I take it upstairs with me, and I still have my bag from the weekend to unpack, so I'm going to get those last little bits done before I have to leave the house basically, as it were. So yeah, that's it for today. That's it for this little pre-vlogmas prep video. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the Christmassy mood, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.